everybody, and welcome to CJ Reads. No, that's not right. CJ Today Reads. That's better. I don't want to fall afoul of another channel. Today I have an unusual request, which I think I mentioned in my last video. I think Maiko is trolling me, but he's asked me to read a menu. When I mentioned this to a couple of other people, they said, we would love to compare the menu you're going to read with what is available in Australia, what we might expect from an Australian menu. I thought, well, that's a good idea. So that's what I'm going to do today. This is going to be a cold read in that I glanced briefly at the menu of the places that I'm going to read from, and there's already some things that I've gone, I have no idea what that is. So that's what we're going to explore today, is me reading a menu, because apparently Maiko thinks that would be a good idea. So the menu I'm reading from is a place called Truman's Bar and Grill, I think it's called, in Columbia, Missouri. I'm going to pronounce it how Maiko pronounces Missouri instead of Missouri. So from Missouri, and just having a look at the items on, and I'm immediately drawn to one that's called jumbo bone-in wings, because that's just really questionable. And then it says wings and a word I don't even know. Yunglings. Younglings. Is that a typo? What's a youngling? Lager and flight on special. Okay, you can fly somewhere. The wings are, oh, you can get boneless too, but the wings can still fly. This is just weird. Hand breaded. Is there an alternative way to bread something? I understand bread, like we don't call it breaded here. We would say it's crumbed, but we wouldn't say hand crumbed, because that's kind of obvious. What else is doing the breading? Catfish, I know that's a thing that you have. I'm looking at the specials for each day. And then you've got a breakfast buffet, etc. There's a lunchtime menu as well. You can do things. Oh, it's all just standard stuff, isn't it? Delis. Or what is a jumbo beef frank? Holy cannoli. What is a jumbo beef frank? Is Frank just not here anymore and we're using bits of him? What is a frank? Unless it's a frankfurt, that could be it. But they're not usually made with beef. They're made with food unmentionables. So most of the other stuff on here, I understand what it is. Looking at the next side choices. Corn, coleslaw. Yes. And look at how many dressings you can get. Little Italian. Do they talk in a squeaky voice if they're little? Wow. Chicken quesadilla. I know what a chicken quesadilla is, and it's very nice, so I can go with that one. So what else have we got? So we have appetizers. So when do you have an appetizer? I'm going to assume that this is the same as an entree that we have here. So we break our meals into entree, which is a small serving of something light. Then you have your main, and then you have your dessert. I have no idea if this is what happens in the US. Already spotted something. So I had just said, or started to say, I've just spotted something. And then I continued talking for another 20 minutes, only to come back and go, holy cannoli, holy effamoli, it didn't record any of it. So here's me yabbering on for 20 minutes. Nada, nothing. So I'm going to have to do it all again. So bear with me for technical issues, and I'm just going to pause my recording and I'll come back when I can record. Okay, let's see if this works this time. So I'm having a look at Truman's Bar and Grill from Columbia, Missouri. Or Missouri. I think I've already said that, but I'm a professional and I'm not going to go back and check. So what I said, so I'm just going to presume you heard nothing, and I'm going to go through it. So the first thing I noticed the first time in is something called Younglings. Younglings. Younglings? It looks like it should be younglings, but it's not spelt like that. So, and I don't know what a bone-in wing is. Well, I do, because clearly it's still a bone in it, but that just sounds a little bit rude to have a jumbo bone in. I think that's just going to be an endless source of jokes. Then what else have we got on here that I saw? Catfish, which I don't even know that we would even have that on a menu here. I've never seen it, but not being a seafood person, I don't know. Then you've got, so I was reading through like each day was, I presume it's a specials. What was on the specials for each day? Don't actually know. Still want to know what a Jungling is. Maybe it's probably a beer or something. Lager and flight on special. Lager and flight. Flight. Does that mean you get to fly somewhere for free? These wings can't still fly, can they? Because that would just be weird. The other thing I saw on here was hand breaded. I don't know how else you would bread something. Maybe it's foot breaded. Uh, maybe it's someone clutching someone else's pearls breaded. I don't know. Here we would call that crumbed. We don't call it breaded. We call it crumbed. And we wouldn't use the word hand because crumbed implies that somebody has rolled something in crumbs. Therefore, I think it's given. So, but hand breaded as opposed to, I don't know, have you got a machine for that? And how do you even buy a machine for that? Oh, you sell mimosas for pancakes, with pancakes. Oh, so I'm there. Mimosas on Saturdays. Yummo. Nice. Then we have appetizers. Uh, Here we would call them entrees. I notice that you have entrees on here. When do you have entrees? When is that like a side? I like the fact that you've got SHIT that swims. That's classic. And a big ass ribeye. Of course you do. But ribeye, that's not an entree. Wow, that'd be huge. So an entree here is the meal. If we break up going to a restaurant experience, you would have entrees, which are like your appetizers, I presume. These are the small serve stuff that kind of give you an introduction to what the menu's going to be like. So it might be garlic bread, or it might be, what have you got on here? Chicken tenders, yeah, that would fit. Mozzarella sticks, yummo. Fried okra, whatever the hell okra is, and cheese quesadilla. Prices are pretty reasonable too, I've got to say. Chili dog. And anyway, so we would have an entree and then a main meal and then a dessert. And then possibly cheese platter after that with your after dinner drinks. So let's have a look at more of this menu. Yukon Gold mashed potatoes. What is special about Yukon Gold? What even is Yukon Gold? Is that like a beer? I keep wanting to think because this is a bar and grill. I'm expecting it's some sort of alcohol. A beer perhaps. Tater tots. There's tater tots. Okay, so we've got giddies going to these places. There's more fried okra. Then we've got breakfast right next to the appetizers meal, which seems a little odd. Then we've got a $10 lunch menu. And this is the issue I have here is there is a jumbo beef frank. And I really feel sorry for Frank. Was that the name of the cow? What is a jumbo beef frank? Other than a Frankfurt, I guess it could be that. But I thought you called them hot dogs. Not a Frankfurt, but maybe that's what it is. BLT, yes, we have those. I know what that is. Buffalo tenders, know what that is, which doesn't contain actual buffalo, which is a bit weird. Why would you call it that? But what is a redneck chicken Caesar? I mean, a Caesar is something from France. I think they invented the Caesar salad, or maybe Italy. What is a redneck chicken Caesar? What's special about it being redneck? I don't know what that is. Waffle fries. What are waffle fries? No, I mean, it's tater tarts again. Waffle fries, are they just because they're cut like that? Or do they taste like, are they made from waffles? Because that would be bizarre. And then you've got something on here with raspberry sauce. Why would you have raspberry sauce? What's a signature house-made raspberry sauce on jumbo wings? You have raspberry on toast, not on, or with cream, not on chicken. That's, anyway, okay. You be you, boo. Then we have some specialty burgers. Woohoo! A Harley one, so you can ride it while you're riding a Harley. No, I'm sure you can't, but haha, cholesterol one. That was pretty cool. You also have the Duke, which surprised me because a Duke is a European title, so that's interesting that you'd call something a Duke. Then you have sandwiches. Now, I know what sandwiches are thanks to Joey from Friends, but we don't call them that here. They are rolls. So sandwich here is anything that's on sliced bread. So you're slapping something together, 2 slices of bread, that's a sandwich, and often referred to as a sanger. If you have anything that doesn't involve 2 slices of bread, but is a bread-like product, like a bread roll, or in the UK, if anyone's listening from the UK, a granary bap, because I know they call them BAP. That's one for you people to look up, because I thought someone was trolling me when I lived in London. They asked me to get them their lunch and they asked for a granary BAP. I'm like, you're having me on. What is that? It's a grain or a seeded bread roll. And a BAP is one that's got the flour dusted across the top still of a bread roll. So if you're going to make that and put something inside it, like what we've got on here, what have we got? So we've got a grilled chicken with LTOP. Served with LT, lettuce, tomato, onions, and pickle. Is that a guess? And cheese. Lettuce, tomato, onions. What's the P? P, I reckon, might be a pickle because it's American. That's a guess. I've never seen that on a menu here, and I guarantee you if I put that on a menu here, the poor server would be asked every single time, what is LTOP? Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yes. So if you wanted to have one of these, like fried chicken, now that's just ridiculous. Chicken fried, I know chickens are talented, but I didn't know that they could fry things. What is a chicken fried chicken? Well, hang on. Chicken fried steak, I know of this, is when you've got steak with breadcrumbs around it. So it's like a deep fried steak. Here, that would be a veal schnitzel. Veal being young beef, and then wrapped in breadcrumbs and usually pan fried, but can also be deep fried. Chicken fried chicken, that just is repetitive. Anyway, deep fried chicken, I would probably say would be what would be here, but actually what you would call it here is a parmigiana. Or schnitzel, sorry, it would be a schnitzel. If you put Napoli sauce and cheese, melted cheese on the top of that, it then becomes a chicken parmigiana. And that, you know, is going to be a deep fried piece of chicken breast and crumbed, and we call that a schnitzel. We certainly do not repeat ourselves and say schnitzel fried schnitzel. We would, so I don't know what a chicken fried chicken is. That's just hilarious. Chicken fried chicken. I would be asking if I didn't already know because of my conversations with Americans recently. I didn't even know this was a thing, that chickens were this talented and could actually fry things. Grand Slam, that's an interesting sandwich. An American on a hoagie. I wanna give you a tissue if you say hoagie. I have no idea what that is. As I was saying, we would call this a bread roll. This would not be a sandwich. But I understand you call it sandwiches. Thank you, Joey from Friends. What else have we got? I don't even know what a hoagie is. Breakfast, we've got an egg sandwich, which I presume is egg on a roll. A biscuit sandwich. This is just going to be weird because a biscuit here, or a bicky, is a cookie in the US, but it's a bicky here, the UK, New Zealand. We call them bickies or biscuits. I understand biscuits are different in the US, and I can't remember what they are, but they're not something that is overly pleasant from most people's description. Monster burrito, that sounds nice for breakfast. Working man combo, that's a bit sexist. Why can't it be a working woman combo? Why can't it just be a working person combo? What, because they don't work as hard? Sure, we'll go with that. Farm boy, I've got a problem with farm boy too, because it makes me think of the Waltons. So anyway, I'm getting too caught up in some of these things. Heaping hash browns, that sounds awesome. Buffalo chicken, my dog wants to go outside and I'm not going to go and let him outside. Let's move on to, so that's the menu. Let's move on to the 3 chefs menu, and this is at Taraji Bolo. So I'm going to spell Taraji because there's no way you're going to be able to figure it out from what I just said. And if I spelt it first and told you to pronounce it, you still wouldn't figure it out because it's spelled Towradgi, pronounced Taraji. I know this because I lived in that suburb. And the Bolo is the local bowling club, and it's not a bowling as in 10-pin bowling, it is lawn bowls, which is hugely popular in Australia in the 40s, 50s and 60s, and even into the 70s. You couldn't move for having a bowling club somewhere where you could go and play lawn bowls. And most of these clubs then also started, probably because their numbers of people went down who wanted to play, they started having like somewhere to eat in there. It started with a carvery, so you would normally have some sort of roast on. It would be beef roast, or it would be a lamb roast, or a pork roast, and then you have your mashed potatoes and some veggies and a bit of gravy, and that'd be it. So we're going to have a look at the 3 chefs menu from Taraji Bolo. And I mean, there's things on here that you would find is very similar to what we were talking about before. We've got garlic breads, a different type of breads, but it's listed under the heading appetizer and entrees. And I think that you would be confused if you're an American reading this going, why is an entree listed there? Because I'm not quite sure what your entree is. Then, of course, we've got barramundi, which is an Australian fish that's fished in the northern part of Australia and very popular here, very good fish. People enjoy it a lot. Beer battered just means they've added beer instead of whatever else you use to make batter, buttermilk or milk or water. They use beer, which I know is going to be very popular with some of you who listen to this. A crumbed prawn cutlet. So we don't call shrimp here, despite the ads. Those ads were made for Americans, like Foster's was made for Americans. We don't drink Foster's here. I don't even think you can buy it here. I've never seen it, never even seen a sign for it. So I'm pretty sure you can't buy it here, or if you can, it's not particularly popular. We have sort of on tap beers like Tui's, Forex. Those are 2 ones I can think of. Then you can get your bottles like we have Corona, but we also have a Cascade. And I'm not a beer drinker, so don't hold it against me if I don't know. And then, of course, craft beers. And I have a brewery, little craft brewery, that is within a 5-minute walk of my place. If you want to have a look at that little craft brewery, it's in Tarrawanna, which is spelled Tarrawna, pronounced Tarrawanna. You can have a look at the little craft brewery that's in there. So if you're ever in my neck of the woods and you want somewhere to stay, and I can't give you, I can put a tent in the backyard for you if you want someone to stay, but you would be within walking distance of a craft brewery. So on this menu as well, we've got chicken parmigiana. So that's what I was talking about, the Napoli sauce. And then this one's got ham, mozzarella cheese, chicken schnitzel. So that's just going to be your deep fried chicken. And they've got a Mexican parmy. So that sounds nice, with chili con carne and melted cheese, guacamole and sour cream. So that's a pretty standard menu. They've got pasta, pizza, classic pizzas, like a Hawaiian. There's a strawberry Nutella calzone if you like a sweet pizza. And then salads, quinoa with chickpeas, Thai beef salads, beef burgers. So those are the kind of things that you would expect to get at a bolo. So it's good food, reasonably priced, and but not too fancy. So the next one I'm going to talk about is we're going to go fancy. So Laurie asked me to, in particular, I think it was Laurie, that asked me to have a look at a menu that's a little bit fancy. So we're going to have a look at the Lagoon. So the Lagoon restaurant in Wollongong, and you might look at the name Wollongong and go, that's pronounced Wollongong. It's not, it's pronounced wool as in sheep's wool. So in Wollongong, so the Lagoon restaurant is right on the beach. Beach views, unrestricted, like you can see the beach, see the ocean, depending on where you sit in the restaurant. And it's a kind of an institution here. It's been around since I can remember, and I'm not young, so at least 30 years that I know of, it's been around. So I'm going to have a look at their a la carte menu. And already on here, I've spotted an issue because I have no idea what this is. So it's stone-baked sourdough cob. So it's a bread, and a cob is just the shape. So that's a round loaf. So it's stone-baked, obviously, put on a stone to bake it, but it's with garlic evu. EVOO. I've got no idea what an evu is. And it also has black pepper and rosemary evu. I wonder if it's something you dip into. Do you remember there was a trend in the 90s? Was it the 90s? Where they'd serve you bread with balsamic vinegar and you could dip and seeds or some sort of dukkha, I think it was. And you dip your bread into an olive oil and then into the seed mix, or you would dip it into the balsamic and you'd have, I wonder if that's what it is. I'm not going to look it up because I can't be bothered. But then we have an antipasto with something like pickled daikon and anchovies on sourdough. There's some salads in here, garden Greek salad, but I'm going to talk about oysters because I looked at this and went, thank God I don't like oysters. So these are freshly shut Sydney rock oysters, which are very popular here. A natural just having them natural. And if you wanted a dozen, $49.80. Holy effamoly, $49.80. You can get, and that's with a mignonette dressing, which I presume is something that involves mushrooms being mignonette, but I've got no idea. If you want 6, you can get them a bit cheaper. That's $31.80. It's actually more economical to buy 12 per oyster. There's one here for you, Kathy, which is the Bloody Mary, served in a shot glass with vodka, tomato juice, and Tabasco. So you get one oyster for $7. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Then they have a raw bar. So this is all of the sakori tuna. This is the finely, like, sushi, sashimi, that sort of stuff. Then we move on to, so we haven't even got to entrees yet. Those are just the tasters, appetizers, if you like. Entrees here. You can do char grilled halloumi. Yummo. Who doesn't like a bit of halloumi? You can have North Atlantic sea scallops. You can have octopus, charred king prawns. These are massive. If you've ever seen a king prawn, they are massive. And it's a shrimp for my American friends, which we don't call them shrimp, as I think I mentioned. I can't remember now what I've talked about and what I haven't, because this is take 2 of this particular CJ reads. Sorry, CJ Today reads. But let's move on to the seafood. So this is a seafood restaurant, so it specializes in seafood. We have a harbour right next to the lagoon, or right near the lagoon, probably a 10-minute walk. And that's where the ships come in every day, the fishing boats, and offload their catch. And this restaurant gets freshly caught seafood. So in this one, they have snapper, because that's one of the ones that comes in. You can have an 800 gram, you can figure out how many pounds that is, 800 gram, whole baked snapper, freshly caught from the local trawlers, with it's baked, I said it was whole baked, with lemon evu, whatever evu is. I have no idea what an evu is. I really don't, that's just weird. $63.70 if you want one of those. That's your seafood dish. But I'm going to go to the signature seafood platters, because this is what you could get. So if you and a friend wanted to go to this restaurant and order a hot and cold seafood platter for 2, here's what you'll get. 1 Western lobster grilled in garlic butter. That's a whole lobster. You get the whole thing. Not just a tail, you get a whole Western lobster. So if you happen to like the other bits of the lobster, you get those 2. Moreton Bay bugs. These are a particular delicacy. And if you like shellfish, you'll love these. I mean, they look like a giant cockroach to me. But anyway, Moreton Bay bugs with chili, ginger, and garlic cream sauce. Barbecue king prawns, plural, so you're going to get more than one, with chili, ginger, and garlic cream sauce. Kilpatrick oysters, which are with bacon and spicy tomato sauce. Mornay oysters. So again, there's plural here. You're getting more than one, with white Mornay sauce and cheddar. Scallops in the shell, seared with soy, ginger, and shallots. Barbecued octopus, marinated with garlic, chili, and ginger. Sea salt and cracked pepper calamari with lime aioli. Salt and pepper catch of the day. That's just the hot portion. Then cold on here, you've got Balmain bugs, blue swimmer crab, which I hear is very nice, but I'm not a shellfish person. Natural oysters with mignonette dressing. There it is again. Makes me think of those marionettes. Every time I've seen that word, I think you're going to get oysters on strings. Fresh king prawns and a chef's selection of sashimi. And if you want to add brown crab, you can, and that's an extra $49. How much do you think a hot and cold sea platter for 2 with all of that on it would be? You won't guess. $259. Yes, you heard me right. $259. If you want to add a person, so it's for 3, you're going to get $359 for one of those. Holy effamoly. Then on here we've got sides, desserts. So sides would be garden salad, hand-cut truffle chips, things like that. Desserts, I always look at the dessert menu first. Put your hand up if you're one of these people too. Desserts, always look at first, because it helps you decide what you're going to eat. If I find something on a dessert menu I really like, I won't eat an entree or a starter or whatever you want to call it. I won't order one of those because I can't fit all that in. And I have a friend that she will order a dessert for an entree, because she can't pick between 2 desserts. So she'll eat a dessert first, then a main, and then have another dessert. So on here we've got, oh yum, creme brulee. Who doesn't like a creme brulee? With hazelnut, served with chocolate biscotti and hazelnut praline. Yummo. Bailey's tiramisu, I will not have that because it's coffee and I won't have that. But you could get that with these weird name of biscuits. I'm not even going to try and say that name. Chocolate and caramel peanut bomba. B-O-M-B-E. Bomba. So it's a round something. And yes, it is. It's a tempered chocolate sphere. There you go. Honey wafers, yummo, with champagne. Oh no, sorry, it's got creme fraiche. I'm not going to have that, even though it's got strawberry liqueur. Chocolate ganache tart. Now, my father says it's nothing like a good tart, and this is exactly like a good tart. It's $19.50. Just if is it going to be that good? It's rich velvety. Oh, here's a word. Callebeaut. I've no idea what a Callebaut chocolate ganache is. Glistening mirror glaze, chantilly cream, yum, on buttery short crust. Pastry, baked cheesecake. Interestingly, this has got spiced graham crackers. Now, your Americans who are listening are going to go, that's not how you say it, because you don't know how to say H, like you don't know how to add U's appropriately into words. You call them graham crackers. I've no idea why you don't pronounce an H. Do you call people who are called Graham Graham? Is that how you, if their name is Graham, do you say Graham? Hi, Graham. Or do you say Graham? Anyway, graham crackers with warm strawberry rhubarb compote. Sounds really nice. But I think the reason that they've got this is because it's a baked cheesecake. And I think the New York baked cheesecake kind of established what a baked cheesecake was. So it might be a bit of a nod to that they're using the crumb as a graham cracker. Then there's assorted gelatos with pistachio and white chocolate, yummo. Oh, and then affogato, which I'm not going to have that because it's coffee. It's basically a espresso where if you bought this in Italy or in Melbourne, or pretty much anywhere in Australia now, if you wanted to buy an affogato, you would have it's a little bit of coffee in the bottom of a cup, and that's it. My sister drinks macchiatos when she has coffee, and that's just a little bit of espresso in the bottom of a cup. It's in a little cup as well. So you can have one of I'm not having that one. You can have that one. Anybody who likes coffee can have that one. That's $24.90. So if you want that one, you're paying for that one. Then we've got a cheese menu, which has got some double cream brie, yummo, from the Rhone Valley in France. We've got some blue cheese. I don't understand blue cheese. Like if you have to hold your nose to eat something, why would taste like old socks? Or I think it should taste like old socks. I've never actually eaten it because I can't stand the smell of it. There's some New Zealand cheese, Waikato. I'm probably pronouncing that really badly. I'm sorry to my New Zealand friends. Waikato vintage cheese. Nice. Hand washed curd. Again, okay. Okay, I'm not even going to go there because that just sounds a little bit odd. It needs to go with the Missouri menu, doesn't it? And a tasting plate, cloth bound, blah, blah, blah. Easy for me to say, cloth bound cheddar, which is springy and buttery. I've never thought that, imagine if that was your job, is that your job was to describe the texture of cheese, because each one of these describes a cheese texture. So the brie is silky, creamy, and soft. The blue cheese is smooth, creamy, and buttery. The Waikato vintage is firm, dense, and crumbly. I know somebody who's a bit like that. Firm, dense, and crumbly. And I'm talking to you, Fozzie. And then the cheddar is springy and buttery. It has tasting notes. Nutty, oaky, smoky, buttery. Somebody has way too much time in their hands. But what do you call it? So if somebody is a grows wine and they're a vintner, and then whatever they call the person who actually mixes the wine, I can't remember what that's called. And then you've got the sommelier, that he's the person who knows wine and will serve it to you in a restaurant. What is it for cheese? Apart from Wallace and Gromit, there's no cheese, Gromit. Not even Wensleydale. So yeah, I don't know that I'd like to tell people that my job was smelling the cheese. Can you imagine the jokes? Can you imagine? My job is to smell cheese. Oh, I can help you out with that right now. No, I don't think I'd like to do that. Anyway, I'd be interested. Maybe there'd be somebody who can tell me that yes, there is a full-time job where you can taste, rate cheese it seems a little pretentious because these descriptions, because it's like tasting notes for the vintage is rich, toffee, herbaceous, and it's even got the wine suggestion with it, which is the Telling Tales Pinot Noir. I gotta love a Pinot Noir. I'm there if it's Pinot Noir. Telling Tales Shiraz, not so much. McGuigan, Chardonnay, Stonefish, Sauvignon Blanc. Love a good Sauv Blanc, but Pinot Noir. So I'd probably have that one. That one is a hard wash curd Gouda. I'm not sure about a Gouda. A hard wash curd. Wash curd. Do they not clean curds normally when you eat them? Anyway, that is our sojourn into the menu habits of Missouri. And what I presume is well, it sounds a bit like a Texan grill would be very similar. Maybe not. I might be doing Missouri a disservice. What you might get at a bolo and what you might get at a fine dining restaurant locally here. If I pulled up a restaurant from the seriously fancy stuff, there's one in Melbourne. My niece works for a hatted French restaurant in Canberra, and those menus there's one in Melbourne called Vue de Monde, and it's got an exceptional reputation, but it is degustation at the highest level. And I'm not even going to read that. You think Heston Blumenthal or somebody like that type of menu. So, something you'd see on MasterChef as like one of those impossible to recreate dishes that have got 75 ingredients and 213 steps to produce something that's the size of a, I don't know. What's the size of it, Rocket? What can I think of that's really, really tiny right now? Let me think about Fozzie for a minute. Something really, really small. Maybe a golf ball. Let's go with that. I'll be polite. So you get all of these ingredients and you got to produce something that's tiny, really, really small. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed CJ Reads today. Something a little bit different, something a bit silly. I might be off the airways for a little bit because I've got something coming up that won't allow me to record, but I might because it could be hilarious because I'll be under the influence of some pretty strong painkillers, so that could be fun too. I might record something, I might not, but hopefully this little slightly longer podcast, what do you call this? This is just me talking, so a slightly longer me talking will hold you over until I can do another one of these. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Go get something yummy to eat. Go and watch a chicken fry a chicken, because that just sounds really... I think I might even pay money to see something like that. Maybe that's a business idea. I'll have a chat to my dog about that and see what he thinks. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.
Never knew that it could feel this way when you're lying next to someone. You don't even need to play pretend, 'cause you're fine the way you are. I wanna know you better, give me every detail. I won't judge you, as you know. Could stay forever when you're lying in my arms. My heart is open, it just took some time. Now I just hope that you'd stay for a little while. You fix what's broken when you make that smile. So just stay for a little while. So just stay for a little while. I didn't think that I would find that someone who's as honest as you are. The way you make me feel at night when I am vulnerable and it's cold outside, but you make it alright. I wanna know you better, give me every detail. I won't judge you, as you know. could stay forever when I'm lying in your arms. Oh, my heart is open. It just took some time. Now I just hope that you stay for a little while. You fix what's broken when you make that smile. So just stay for a little while. So long when you go, and I can't get enough of you. So can't you stay a little while? I don't want you to leave, so please stay with me. Stay for a little while. Stay for a little while. Hey, yeah. My heart is open. It just took some time. Now I just hope that you stay for a little while. You fix what's broken